Hello, Bjorn here. It's been a long time since I've done a video update, so I wanted to do one before starting work today, really quick. Yeah, you can see the bus looks a lot different. It's all cleaned up. Some metal out in some of the parts, but it's pretty darn clean. So, you can see all the rails look nice and clean. That's because they've been all sanded and coated with 2 coats of Rust-Oleum primer. Of course, this was the rusty metal primer. The metal wasn't rusty. I could use the shiny metal primer, but I like the rusty metal primer better, and it doesn't really matter all that much, so I use that. And you can see everything's really coming along. All the storage bays are pretty much sanded. Got a little bit more sanding to go. So a lot of stuff there. And then of course some plywood. We got 2 full sheets on top that are going to be painted today. I don't know if you can see underneath, but there's some plywood right there that's been coated with Henry's white Solar Flex, which is the same stuff that's down this middle aisle. So the Solar Flex is meant to be put on roofs. So it's kind of a waterproofing and also meant to reflect the sun's heat and all that stuff. But we don't really need it to reflect heat. We just want to give the plywood, or in this case the Luan, a little bit more protection. So that's why we are coating that. So all the sheets will be coated. The plywood will be laid out so that we have one full piece going from this beam here to that beam here. So if you look at it, the beam on the left here and the beam on the right here are almost 4 feet on center apart. So we'll lay full sheets of plywood down. That'll leave one small sheet on either side. We're going to leave the wheel wells open because I still need to take off the wheels and replace those suckers. So we'll leave those open so I can at least put the floor down and get to those later. We bought denim insulation, which is going to be really good stuff to work with. So bought a lot of denim insulation. We might actually be able to take some back, but all these cavities will be filled with denim, which has better sound quality than fiberglass, same amount of fire resistance, and because it's unfaced, it might actually be a little more fire resistant. Today we're going to finish up sanding on some of these storage bays, get the rest of it sanded up, and then we'll be painting those with truck bed liner. So that will be an interesting experiment. We're going to roll it on, and then I have some spray cans of the truck bed liner, and we're going to go over everything. I also bought wood to metal screws, self-drilling, self-tapping wood to metal screws on eBay, and they were extremely cheap on eBay. There's a company on there, Lexar Industrial. They, I don't have any affiliation with them, but I was really surprised. I was able to get tons of screws for 20, 25 bucks. 800 screws or so, whereas you buy them on at Lowe's or Home Depot, you're getting them 50 to 100, a box of 50 to 100 for like 8 bucks. So much better deal, and got those in, so I'm excited about that. And yeah, I don't even remember the last video where we were, but I know it wasn't this far. We took out the metal sheets from the side here, and here there was a metal sheet, and I'm pretty sure that was because the air conditioning vents came out right there, so I think they were just protecting it, but I'm not 100% sure. So all in all, a lot of work has been done. I don't think I'm pretty sure this is a new development, if you can see down there. The central heating core has been taken out. So there's no more central heating core or evaporator, or condenser, I guess. I forget which one's which. I think the condenser's on the outside. So evaporator and central heating core. Nothing left in there. You can see it's all sanded and painted, which is a huge improvement from what it was. That wall's going to come out. I'm going to take a jigsaw and I'm going to cut that plywood wall out so that there's, I'm hoping that we'll put the batteries in there and then I'll be able to slide the batteries out on rails through that. The benefit of having the batteries in here will be that they're right in the center of the coach. It's a little more forward than I would have wanted them, but I think it'll be fine. I'll just put a little bit more weight distributed on the front axle. No matter what you do, the weight will be distributed over both axles, but because it is closer to the front, the distance from the front axle obviously is a lot smaller, so it will have a little bit more of the weight put on it, but I'm not worried about that because we'll still have the majority of the weight in the back, obviously. So that looks like a great spot. It'll put it right in the center and it'll leave two huge storage bays for everything else that we need, because the back one is obviously going to be all the plumbing. So the goal will be, once again, to have it in there, be able to slide it out of the condenser swing out door on the other side. So we'll see how that goes. And that was a lot of work. It was nice to get that sanded and everything. Also, you might have noticed, took out the valve right here. My understanding was that that valve controls the coolant that was coming out of the heater core. So depending on how much coolant you wanted out for heating and air conditioning, whatever you were doing, that valve would open or close. And so I took that out because we don't need it anymore. This side is just a little piece that goes down under. This side is actually the return. So I capped that off, and I'll cap off the other side because the driver's heater core is still up there. We'll take out the evaporator for the AC because we won't be using the driver's AC, but we will be using the heater core and the defroster up there. So I've got a cap to cap off this side, which hasn't been capped yet. And once that's capped, we'll be able to use the driver's side defroster and everything. So all in all, it's pretty darn clean. We spent a lot of time blowing it out with the air compressor, and it's just looking really clean, and I like it that way. A lot less gunk than there was before. So hopefully with everything that we're doing, it's going to look like a different bus by the end of the day tomorrow. So it's a Saturday morning, and of course we can only work on it on the weekends. So we do Saturday, Sunday, and I'll try to do another video tomorrow at the end of the day so you guys can see hopefully a very large change with the storage bays and the floor. The first layer of flooring should be down. So we're going to keep going at the storage bays. We took a 4.5-inch angle grinder, and that's a sanding attachment with a 4.5-inch angle grinder on the walls, and then on the floor it's just a 4.5-inch wire wheel, and that gets the floors really well, so it cleans everything up really nice, scuffs it all up. We've got to do hand sanding in a few areas, but all in all we're very happy. It's looking good. So till next time, I hope you guys enjoy, and yeah, we'll talk to you soon.